We have about 1 minute left. I wanted to give everyone last opportunity to give some inspiring words of encouragement to everyone that has joined this call, and maybe describe something that they can do to set themselves apart from the pack, or just start the conversation of identifying and exploring who they are.
Where you start trying to create a brand, take inventory of yourself, think about what matters most to you, settle on 1, 2, maybe 3 things at most, and then find a way to get that message out to as many people as possible. Doesn't have to be social media, doesn't have to be a book, doesn't have to be a podcast. It could be going to a conference. It could be yelling from your rooftop if there's a lot of people around, right? Just find a way to get that message out.
Excellent.
I would say to, understand your why. Don't make it about you all the time, even if you hear feedback that you don't necessarily like. Think about, listen, be like a good listener. You don't have to accept it all, but just listen, take it in, and then go about your business. And, find your tribe, right? Like, find the people that you connect with, find the people that you can help, and really pay the opportunities forward, right? Like, it's, again, don't make it all about you, right? Think about how you can help that next generation, right? If you have an opportunity for a conference, bring them along with you, add them as panelists. Like, it's these little steps that we take every day that make the biggest impacts in the end.
And I'll build off of that and say, be bold. Don't be afraid to be bold. You are going to make mistakes. I said that before, and I cannot stress this enough. You're going to make mistakes, but people will judge you more, far more, on how you handle that situation when you make a mistake than the mistake itself. By and large, yes, people understand you're going to do things that, look bad, were kind of foolish, whatever. It's how you handle it. So make sure, acknowledge you did something wrong. Acknowledge you screwed up. Be conciliatory. Don't make excuses. Just, hey, I screwed up. This is what I'm going to do to move forward, and take accountability. That will build your brand faster than trying to be perfect and never make a mistake, because you'll never succeed at that anyway.
I think for me, the big thing is paying it forward. Because for me, I've been blessed. I mean, I did a talk for SANS earlier this year, and they wanted to know my background and so on, and how I got into the field. And as part of that talk, I mentioned that I worked my first job actually for a newspaper company, and I wanted to go to university, but I could not afford to go to university, and I could not afford to leave my job. And I spoke to the general manager there, and he worked out a scenario where I was able to leave my job. He hired me part-time, and I was able to go to university. And that is what I consider as a turning point in my career. So for me, if someone did not take a chance like that on me, I would not have been here today. And similarly, the job that I'm in today, the vice president that I report to, she has given me tremendous opportunities. And for me, I really appreciate that, because, hopefully I have not disappointed her in any way. But let me just add one more point. Diversity in this industry is very, very important. And if you look at my work history, for example, the only job I probably spent about 8 years or 9 years in is the first job. But this company that I'm in, we have a very, very diverse workforce. And when I say diverse, we're not just talking about sexes and race and all of those things, but diverse in general. And being a company that I'm in, we around you is important, because you don't always want to have people around you that looks like you, sound like you, think like you. That is going to be a recipe for disaster. The more diversity we have in this industry, the better it is going to be for the industry, as well as for us as individuals, as we aim to learn more and grow as individuals and as professionals.
Everyone has said it so perfect. And so I think I can just wrap it up and kind of put a bow on it. One of the things that I found is like kind of the secret weapon. And I hope you're all listening to this, because this was so life-changing for me. Once you realize your purpose, that thing you want to impact in the world, it's not just on yourself, but it's your community, it's the world. You find that purpose, and then you realize what your superpower is. What is that thing that you just do really well? And you don't know why you do it well, but it seems like almost effortless to you. When you combine those two things, you can do no wrong. You might slow down, you might fail, but you won't stop because you know that you can do something great in that space. So once you realize that, you combine that purpose and your superpower, and you start to use it for good, no one's going to stop you, and you won't quit. You'll keep moving forward. You'll build your brand, but you'll change some lives, which is more important.
Excellent. This was perfect. I'm inspired myself. I'm looking forward to finding more about my why and marrying it with my purpose and marching towards that path. Nick, Alyssa, Chris, Christina, and Jerich, thank you so much for being a part of the panel. Really appreciated the conversation, and I'm sure that everyone enjoyed it. And thanks for joining in for this session.